So let's take a look at FastPath. FastPath originally, I mean, FastPath's been around for like 5 years in various forms, but what it does is allow you to put in any POR POD combination. I'm going to do BPAT Northwest Montana down to Palo Verde because this is it's kind of a typical thing. You know, there might actually be lots of wind generated power available up in Northwest Montana, and you want to figure out the easiest, quickest, cheapest ways to get it down to Palo Verde because Southern California is going to pay a lot for it, obviously. And so what it just did was it just ran a very quick search for 1024, 1400 to 1024, 1500 and patched together whole pathways. And it's showing me right now, it's showing me, oh, there's a little bit available. I did a search where there was, I said, just give me everything. Don't worry about whether it's available right now, but it's actually can search on only give you pathways where it's available. I will change that to say, I'm going to say only show me pathways that have 90 megawatts. And so I have these pathways. Now, if you're having trouble like visualizing what this pathway is, it's these three legs that make up this pathway. And so the maximum you can run across that pathway is 92 megawatts because the minimum, the maximum of the minimums is 92 megawatts. There's makes no point, you know, makes no sense to buy 633 megawatts in this leg if you can only run 92 across this leg. So I can even see this on a map. So I just clicked the show map button. It's showing me from Northwest Montana going down to Palo Verde. So it's showing me what's available. And so that was very interesting. And that's where we like started with FastPath, but there's all sorts of cool places we can take FastPath. So next I'll show you, I can save my search as on a dashboard. So I just switch over to my dashboard view. And here on my dashboard view, I got some different things cooking. I got, yeah, show me Northwest Montana or Palo Verde, but also I can also jump over and it'll show me Northwest Montana or RC East going over to SPP. Now here, and when it's these yellow dots are actually the LMP prices for the trading nodes that are right there. And so you can start to see why this might be powerful if then, in fact, we're putting all this together in our next app called DealRiz, where when you do these searches, it not only takes into account the transmission cost across, but it says like what point do you want to go from and to, and it takes your LMP price, it subtracts off losses and congestion. And then are there any imports, import tariffs going into SPP, add those in, actually add in the cost of the transmission to get it, and then give you a total deal value from point A to point Z. So that's what this is starting to do. So over in the dashboard view, I can actually monitor, these are current LMP prices. Mark has the ability to import in for your organization and store in a secure, encrypted private database for you, your forecast. So if you're using a forecasting tool, it can be taken into account here and it will show you the forecast for this date period according to your organization. So we're starting to put together, obviously with FastPath and turning it into DealRiz, a full like kind of deal automation capability with all of this, right? And DealRiz will keep being developed out so that it helps you fully with deal automation, scheduling, tagging, tag creation, tag adjustment, putting the entire deal together, and then talking to risk management system so that it actually goes in just like maybe any one of your deal automation tools is right now. And then from here, from this FastPath search, I can take this guy. Let's say I wanted to actually procure it. I'm not going to do this because I'm actually going to do, go back to my 90 megawatts. Show me the ones with 90 megawatts. A little faster. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to actually go to show you what it looks like to reserve it. We have a little like multi-leg reservation wizard here. So it's basically saying we're about to buy 3 legs, reserve through original request 3 legs of the transmission to make the whole pathway. So I can set my profile, and here it's showing me how much is available. And so I'm going to say 25 from 1400 to 25 to 1500. My profile that I want to do is just 1 megawatt across those. So it's showing me how much is available according to ATC, and then how much I'm actually putting together. I can save that as my profile, and I just basically defaulted it for all 3 legs. I can put it in as pre-confirmed. What else would I want to do? I'd have to put in a customer code, which I'm not going to do. But then I move on to the second leg. Here's the second leg. This is an EVP leg, and then a WALC. Once I'm done, I have a few options here. I can reserve all that 1 megawatt across these three, and it will submit to Oasis for me original requests for all three, all at the same time. I can reserve it for the future and say, actually, I want this to go in at 10 p.m. sharp. Do that. I could also say, I want to reserve this when my megawatts become available. So let's say it said the max available is 90. Well, I want 100. I could put in my profile for 100, and our system will sit there and monitor the ATC and only put in the three TSRs when all three have 100. So you can reserve when available. We're working on an all or none thing. It's a little tricky, but that basically would say, look, if one of these gets rejected, then we want the other ones, if you didn't pre-confirm them, then we want the other ones to go back and be withdrawn, right? So it's kind of an all or none concept. We're working on it, and it's a little tricky to do that with Oasis because different TPs have different rules on what you can withdraw and for what reason and stuff. So actively uses Oasis's API. Now you have BPAT and SPP that uses system data within Oasis to tell you how much is available. And then you have others like, a lot of transmission providers just put it in trans offerings. That's how much is available. And so our system is monitoring both. It's actually, on a very quick real-time basis, it's pulling as much of that system data and trans offerings as it can, and repetitively or redundantly storing it in our database. And then as those records get updated in our databases, like a Ghost database, then it's monitoring that. And when you exceed, the ATC exceeds the available, the amount you put in your profile, it triggers the transaction to be submitted to Oasis. We'll say if you guys are paying customers, you could also pay for some of the API. We call it the Crystal Ball API. Everything I'm showing you is available through an API call. Like every single thing I've shown you, like you submit 3 transactions, bulk transactions, you can do that through the API. You can do the ATC searches through the API. You can look up the LMP prices through the API. And you can even submit a timed transaction through the API. So if your development team were playing with, continuously playing with better ways to submit your timed transactions, you might get some benefit out of using our API calls to do some of that. It's another option for you in addition to web data or something like that. You might want to throw in here a fastpath search that you're very interested in. Let's say you're a spec trader, you're very interested in particular trade in the future, and you want to be alerted when all of a sudden like that firm transmission becomes available, or when the non-firm becomes available because, I don't know, other people relinquished it or whatever. So you can just get a text message if you're just kind of monitoring out of financial or intellectual curiosity, monitoring a certain path between 2 points. So those are all the various options you have when you're doing an original request within FastPath.